Hi guys, welcome to Bath Fizz and Foam. My name is Robin French Smith. It's Monday, which means it's time for Make With Me Monday. What's up guys? How y'all doing? So today, I have this mold picked out. Because St. Patrick's Day is March 17th, which means it's time for us to get a couple of St. Patrick's Day projects up and running. That's what it means. Oh, do I push that? No, that's if I wanted to write a comment. Y'all, Facebook changed things, and now on Friday I couldn't see comments, but I thought maybe it was just like a fluke. Now I still can't see comments, but I also can't see, like usually when y'all join, it has like a little thing and it says like Alicia's watching or Matt's watching or Amanda's watching. It doesn't even say that now. I don't know, Facebook. Get your stuff together. Right? Am I right? Okay, well, today we're going to be making, so I have a recipe that I made, that I tested and I didn't like. So whenever I'm testing recipes, I know that you guys probably think that it's like a super straightforward thing. Like these are notes and notes and notes. That's why I always say, like, I usually show these in the boot camps, but I want you guys to see, like, I take copious amounts of notes. So you should too. Okay, so I take tons and tons of notes as I'm working through a recipe. I knew leaving my dog outside was a mistake. I'm sure you can hear her barking. She was just like laying out in the sun though, and she looks so happy. Oh, hi Lena. Lena's watching. Lena says hi. Okay, so this recipe is one that I tested. I made it, I tested it, and my notes say not impressed. So I tweaked it a little bit, and we're gonna give it another shot today. I'm just gonna mix it by hand, which is good because I wanted to show you guys how I add lakes. So a lot of times when I do my lives and I'm adding lakes to my bath bomb mix, you'll see me just like put it in with all of my powders and stuff after I've added my liquids. So just gonna show that again today and kind of talk about that. So here's my powder ingredients, and I just kind of lightly stirred them around. Here's some of my liquids. Let me finish making my liquids for this. It has a lot of liquids in it. I think maybe I need to tweak that later, but we'll see. We'll see. Today the fragrance I'm choosing is bergamot. Stuck it on my nose. It doesn't smell bad. I just stuck it on my nose. It's really good. It's like kind of a citrusy fruit smell to it, and I've never used it as like the main fragrance, so I'm just going to give that a shot today. You know, we're just testing a bunch of things today. So just going to give that a quick swirl, and then I'm going to add my liquid to my powder. And I don't have a swirler. Okay, it's fine. So if I was doing it by hand, this is how I do it. I don't usually do my batches by hand because I usually have like bigger batches, but if I was doing it by hand, which I am right now, this is how I would do it. So if you're making smaller batches, I love using my mixer. Don't get me wrong, because I'm lazy and I like to just like put my mixer in and just like walk away. Can y'all see I'm standing on my tippy toes to get to my table? So normally I just like to put it into my mixer and like walk away, but with a smaller batch, it's like harder to do that. So this is how I would work with a smaller batch. Not in my mixer, but mixing it by hand. And I'm a big advocate for weighing all of the ingredients, but I am still kind of naughty and I add my colorants by like teaspoon. But here's why. Like that doesn't affect how the bath bomb performs. So that's why I'm more lenient about it. Because somebody asked me and I was like, I don't know why I do that. So I had to think about it, and I was like, well, because it doesn't change how the bath bomb performs if I'm a little bit off on it. Okay, so first, Kiana says, yo, yo, yo. Kiana is my favorite Disney princess. I just have to say, I just had to throw that in there real quick. So if I'm gonna add sparkle or shimmer, I love using Super Sparkles from Nurture Soap. It's an eco glitter. So I think it's just like a large size mica is what it really is, but it's like super sparkly. So I'm gonna add that in there, and then we're gonna make a green because we have that Shamrock right there. So I'm gonna add probably more colorant than I need. I'm gonna add 1 teaspoon of yellow 5, and I'm gonna add half a teaspoon of blue 1, and then we're gonna mix it all in. So I've seen people, this and like how to add lakes into your recipe has like been a really common question over the past week. It's like the zeitgeist like brings all the questions together at the same time. So like people will all ask about lakes at the same time. People will all ask about floating at the same time. So lakes was like a really common question last week. So this is how I add my lakes, and I'm just doing it like this because I have like barely mixing because I have that glitter and I don't want it to go up everywhere. But I've seen some people suggest adding your lakes to your oils because they're oil dispersible. And the reason I don't do that is that I've found that I get spots when I do that. So I don't do that. And if I'm mixing it by hand, I know it's going to take me longer than if I'm mixing it in my mixer. So I add it to my powder and wet before I add my citric acid. So if I was mixing it in my mixer, I don't mind already having my citric acid in the mix and then adding my lakes. But if I'm doing it by hand, right, I want to make sure that I get all that colorant in. I don't have those big mixing prongs to make sure that it gets down there and gets everything. So this is how I do it. I'm just kind of like squishing the mix between my hands, and I'm looking for anything like this, where there's either, I don't know if you guys can see it, either like a white spot, or you probably definitely can't see that, but that's like a tiny yellow spot of unincorporated lake. So that's just what I'm like keeping an eye out for looking for anything like that. Making sure I'm scraping the bottom, scraping the sides. Okay, so that looks pretty good. And now I'm gonna add my citric acid. And when you add your citric acid, as long as I haven't added my binder yet, I still have plenty of time to work with it. So I haven't added my binder. It's water wet, it's oil wet right now, not water wet. Ooh, Samantha says hello from Rocket City, USA. Duffy says she's stealing my shirt. I've been trying to wait till Easter to wear it, but it's so cute. I just couldn't I couldn't keep waiting. So I'll probably wear it again for Easter. Okay, so I've just been mixing it by hand. Now, some people would be like, okay, it's ready to go. But if I hold it in my hand, I can still see like little grains of citric acid kind of like sitting on top, so it looks kind of like sugar almost, right? Because citric acid is like, looks like sugar. So I can still see those on top. So I know that it's not ready, and I'm just gonna keep mixing it. And I wanna keep going until either I don't see those white speckles of citric acid, or until all the color is all the way through. Like there's like kind of a visual change, but you really want to like give this part like a lot of time to mix together. So I think that that's like one of the things that like one of the areas where people might kind of mess up. And this does take a lot of time to mix with, especially by hand. If I'm mixing it in my mixer, it's a lot easier, but not doing that today. Duffy says they love it. We used to have a bunny that looked almost like this. His name was Bunny. Bunnies are really funny. Like, if you guys have ever had a rabbit as a pet, they're like really funny little pets. They're very like, they have a lot of personality, which is like, you wouldn't expect that in such a small animal. But they're very cute. Okay, so now binder. I'm using water. For this size batch, I usually use 3 to 4 sprays. And my humidity today is 34%. So even though this recipe works in high humidity, I've made it successfully in low humidity, so that's a good thing. What I haven't done is made bigger batches of it, because that's not on my table yet, but okay. So I'm just making sure that my rubbing alcohol, my water's all the way mixed in, so I don't get any little warts. I'm going to take a clump of it and squeeze it and drop it. It held together like a champ. Let's do this. Okay, so this mold is from Chunkadust. She might have redesigned it, but it was from like last year maybe, or the year before maybe. Not sure. I put the flat piece in first. So that's how I like it. And I like to sprinkle the mix in. So people have asked about floating a lot lately as well. Let's weigh it. People have asked about floating a lot. Floating usually has to do with how a recipe is packed. Oy. Okay, just kidding. Floating usually has to do with how a recipe is packed, and has less to do with, I just turned off my light, sorry. It has less to do with how, like, and the shape. The shape can make a difference too when it comes to floating. Come on, you. There you go. Okay, my bad. So shape, flat bath bombs tend to, at least if you have embeds in them and you're trying to do like a show, flat embeds tend to do better. And then how you pack it. So I'm going to show you how I pack mine. And I'm going to sprinkle mix in. So some people pack it, like really pack it in. I just sprinkle my mix in. In any area that I'm concerned about, like this stem, I'm just going to sprinkle some mix and like pat it down, but not like pack it. Okay? Okay, this bergamot, maybe not the best choice on its own. It has a very, how do I say this? It smells very green. Like if I was in a state where it was legal, I could smoke it. That's what it smells like. I don't know, maybe after the bath bomb like cures up. Sometimes the fragrances change once they're in the bath bomb and once they've been sitting for a little bit, so we'll see. Okay, so I'm gonna tap it. I'm gonna remove the flat back piece. Pretty. I'm gonna turn this over like this. Pop it down a little bit. Actually, I could do like that. Ta-da! Super cute. Y'all are saying it goes with the holiday. Look. We are going to, my husband and I, our anniversary is in February, so we like to go to Galveston, which is like our closest beach, and the weekend we were going was like Mardi Gras, which we haven't done that, you know, like we're not like trying to go to Mardi Gras, but we were like, is that the time that we want to be going there? I don't know. Okay. We'll see what happens. But yeah, when we were in New Orleans, we took our kids to Bourbon Street because I feel like it's important to expose kids to all kinds of things. They're 13 and 18. They need to see that the world is a different place, you know, than Sesame Street. But we went during the day. We went to Bourbon Street during the day. I didn't take them like at night or anything, but there's definitely a lot of like salesmen. I'll just say that. So this color is perfect, and you could find like other shades of green on our green color study, which I will definitely leave a link for that in the description of this. And on this next one, I'm going to show you another way that you could, another thing that you could do. So say you are sprinkling the mix in and your recipe is still sinking and you really want it to float. Now, I personally don't really care if my bath bombs float because a lot of times, like, for me personally, when I'm like have a bath bomb in the water, I'm like playing with it, I'm like pulling it up out of the water, I'm like spinning it around in circles in my hand. So, I mean, I don't know. Plus, I've had people message me and tell me that there's something wrong with my bath bomb because it floated the whole time, the bath bomb that they bought from me, and there was something wrong with it. I've had people send me videos of them basically like chunking their bath bomb into the water and be like, I love my bath bomb. It's like thunk into the water with like a huge splash, and I'm like, the disrespect that they show. So like they don't know. Most customers don't know it's supposed to float. That's like a thing that we get in our head. Plus, I've had like this one will float and that one will sink, and they're in the same batch. So I just don't even care about it that much because I feel like it's too unpredictable. But if you do care, here's some tricks. So you can also use a chopstick and poke some tiny little holes in it, right? And then you cover the holes back up just lightly. And I'm going to pack that little stem a little bit. Okay. And then I'm going to do this. So I think I'll get one more out of this, perhaps maybe a little bit extra. So anyway, those are tricks that you can do. You also need to like let the bath bomb sit for a little bit, like for a couple days. Because sometimes if you like try to test it too early, it's gonna float right, it's gonna sink right away because the binder and stuff is still in there and it's not all the way, it's not done. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so even though I poked the holes, you can't see any holes on that side. I have gone too far before and like poked holes all the way through and then you could see it. My bad. Okay, and no holes on that side. Duffy says they can't wait to try the sprinkle method. Yeah, so I know that some people, like I've seen people make their bath bombs and they go like this. You know, they're like really packing it in there. And if you want to do that, that's fine. I see, for me, it makes little pieces that stick. So I don't do that. I sprinkle and then I just feel like that's what works for me, but you know, there's all different ways. I feel like the packing the top first layer and then sprinkling, that's a really good thing to do with vacuum form molds or hybrid molds. But I feel like when it comes to like a 3D printed mold, you definitely don't need to do that, in my opinion. Unless it has like some kind of weird like little feature to it, which this one doesn't have, but like, I'm trying to think. I don't know. And every mold's a little bit different, so you just kind of have to play around with it, but yeah, it's just one of those things, you know? But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter that much. It's like, It matters if you have embeds and you want your embeds to show. But other than that, I don't know. My kids will hold the bath bomb in their hand the whole time. So will I. So don't know what to tell ya. All right. This guy might be a little bit short. Nectaria says that she pushes it down a little bit because otherwise she feels like your embeds show through and then you don't want them to show through. Okay. So, I mean, yeah, there's different. Also, I think with your molds, Nectaria, I've noticed like the sides are a little bit straighter, and I think that that helps kind of make sure that those details are like nice and crisp. So, like, you know, the way that I do it that works for me may not work for everybody, right? But it can work pretty well. Okay, so this guy was a little bit thinner and he cracked right there. So let me show you. I'm just gonna pat that area down. See how that's repaired pretty much now? The same thing right here. I'm just gonna pat that area down. That happens sometimes. Little edges will pull up. Especially this is the last one, so he's not the same weight as his brothers. So it's okay. Little details pull up, just pat them down. It's okay. Everything's gonna be okay. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I will leave a link to this mold, or to Chunkadust at least, to the green color study, to Nurture Soap for the super sprinkles. In the meantime, we got some new stuff going on. Amanda Erin had her baby, so congratulations to Amanda and Benjamin. So that's really fun. And then we have some other projects, one that I'm calling my baby, so it's like we're both gonna have babies, which I would love to tell you guys about, and I will tell you about it soon as all the little details come together. But yeah, we have some exciting stuff coming around, and that's pretty much it. But thanks for hanging out with me today, and as always, happy making.